Let's go. All right, what do you got for me, Smite? Give it to me, Papa. HERA's on. Of course, they're doing another Odyssey. Yep, Thanatos getting another skin. We saw that one advertised. Dude, Thanatos just already has so many skins. Stop giving Thanatos skins. Oh my, they're actually giving Thanatos and Anubis skins? They have so many! Wow, that is a tragic use of skins. There we go. Kuma can get a skin. That's fine. That's fine. It's a cool skin. Yeah. Discordia. That's okay. I've got a feeling that might not look so good in game.
Welcome in, everybody. It's time for the 5.17 update show. I'll be your host, Aggro. And this is going to be a good one. I say that every time, and I mean it every time. But this one in particular, we've got a lot of awesome stuff for you. We've got a bunch of new god changes, a couple new item changes, maybe even a new item, maybe returning to the golden age of auto attack assassins. You'll understand that joke a little bit later on. But what everyone's asking about and what everyone was excited about coming into this update was news about HERA, the newest god coming to Smite. And so we figured we would start right about there. And to do that, I've got AJ and hi-rez Ryu.
It's not golden bow, it's gonna be golden sword.
Oh wait,
Melee
I got a little. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, Ryu. But we're gonna get that in a minute. I skipped over what you guys just wanted to see, which is the skin preview. So let's do that real quick. We've got Cyber Sight Thanatos. That was the lead off here. And man, this skin. Usually we like to save the best towards the end. We might have gone with the lead this time. This skin is incredible. I can't wait to see what all the effects look like. We'll go on to that after all the information later on. Cosmic Power Anubis is next up on the list. I'm a huge fan of this line of skins. I'm a big user of the Agni skin that looks like this. And now with Anubis, I get to have a whole galaxy team. We're getting pretty close, right? Soul has one. Medusa has one. We're getting pretty close. Chernobog as well. Then we've got General Naceris Kumbhakarna.
This is cool, though.
Well, I think I missed the pun in there. It's like a rhinoceros is the joke. General Naceris. There it is.
General Naceris.
Kumbhakarna. My man's looking fierce with some war armor.
Kumbhakarna is also pretty good right now.
Look, I love it. And then last but certainly not least, Pixel Chaos Discordia. This skin looks amazing as well. I can just tell there's going to be some sick stuff going on with these effects. And we will check out that later on. But anyone know where I can get those socks? I think that'd be a pretty good look for me on this update show. You know, if I just had those neon socks going, but it might be distracting. I'll talk to my people about it. As I mentioned, we're going to get right into HERA right off the bat. And as I mentioned before, but this time corrected, it's Titan Ryu and it's Titan Ajax. What is up, my guys? How you doing?
Oh, hey, good to be here. No longer hi-rez, they're Titan AJ.
Awesome, dude. I'm so excited to get into HERA. So with no further ado, what is HERA's class?
We're here to talk about the newest mage.
Yes, HERA's a mage. Yes. Told you guys.
We've been wanting some mages. It's been a little bit of a break.
We've only got 40 of them. Time for 41. Told you guys.
Yeah, we're really excited about it.
That was going to be my first question. Like, Baron is one of my favorite gods that we've ever done. He's just so flavorful and so awesome.
So many
but I don't get
mages.
to play him in mid that often. Will I be able to play HERA in mid?
I think you will.
Okay, good.
So HERA is a big part of Smite, right?
Yes.
This is a huge name.
Oh, goodness.
So we're theming the Odyssey around her as well. The whole Odyssey story is going to be traveling along with HERA, and we're going to be going to a lot more character development with her.
That's right. So yeah, for this year's Odyssey, we want to dive into the story and really bring her to life more. And I think the best way to really bring a story and a universe to life.
They did. They took away a warrior with Robin and then didn't add a warrior. That's true.
The writer who worked on Divine Uprising. Yep. I was checking the forums, we were checking the forums, and saw a lot of feedback about how Divine Uprising was exciting, but it felt like it was leading into something. It never really got there. So we are investing more time to really flesh out that story. It's significantly longer than Divine Uprising.
Definitely, yeah. More chapters and more words per chapter.
So please give us feedback about that. We're going to check out how many people are watching it and reading it on the website to see, you know, if it adds value. We're going to keep doing stuff like that.
And the most exciting thing is we're going to be tying our god releases together through this story.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to start with HERA and the Odyssey, and she's going to be stepping out into the ashes of Ragnarok. She's going to be punishing those who are responsible. So Hell.
Okay, so it's like a continuation of the previous story.
So we'll see how HERA decides to handle them. But HERA has even greater challenges in the future. Some more parts of Ragnarok that maybe we haven't seen yet. And she's going to have to really come together with the gods to defeat these unseen evils. and we're going to use that mystery to kind of
We know
foreshadow
HERA has a
upcoming
minion
gods.
too, which will be
World-class
interesting.
villain, a good world-class
all we
villain,
really know, I
and
think.
soon enough, we were already planning
minion,
out
big
the
minion,
rest of
like a pet.
2019, even a little bit of 2020,
Right.
really trying to get us
Oh,
to
man, are
think
you
ahead.
serious?
No doubt. And what we're going to do is lead in the Odyssey to our next event, which will introduce gods 99 and 100.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Holy. Okay.
So Odyssey and the
Okay.
next event are all tied together.
Yeah.
I almost said it, AJ.
Don't say it. You
I
can't say
almost
it.
said it.
I was
AJ is
worried.
gonna. AJ, Agro's looking at me like Richard. Don't
lead straight
I'm,
into the God releases of, and I was like, do we need to mute this
No,
guy's
don't
mic
say
real
that.
quick?
Oh
Like,
man, I'm a
are you
firecracker.
serious?
I'll say what I want.
I was like, they hear classified stuff all the time, and they talk all the time. So you guys are really good at not saying stuff accidentally.
More or less.
We're the danger. We're the risk.
Anyways.
So yeah, that's really exciting about
anyways.
this story. You want to read that story?
Back
and
to
that'll help
back,
you kind of try to figure
10,000
out
gem
what's coming out of
events.
Smite if you pay more
Bring out
close
your
attention.
wallets, folks.
That's really
Bring
cool.
out
And,
your
and that's something
wallets.
that throughout the years, I mean, just as a fan participating in the Odyssey during season 1 and season 2, that sort of narrative that carried through it, I thought was a really cool part of it. And now trying to beef it up a little bit is a really cool idea. So how is it going to start? Is it HERA right now? Like what's the idea with the timeline for the Odyssey?
We're going to focus a lot on HERA. So obviously, we're starting the Odyssey now in 5.17. HERA is launching in 5.19.
Okay.
So we're gonna
Wow.
be developing HERA
Two
through some,
more patches
the
until
story
HERA.
and some other
I
materials.
lied
We're
to you
gonna be
guys.
showing
I said she'd
constant
come
teasers.
out
We have some really
in
cool video
5.18.
stuff we're
I
working
lied.
on. We're gonna have game design,
Two more
blog
patches
posts and everything
until
as
she
we lead
comes
up to
out.
that. We're spending a lot of time on HERA.
This is
to really make sure
5.17.
across the board.
So we got
she's really
4 weeks, I
thematically
guess,
strong
until she
and
comes out.
polished.
And in Argus, really spending more time in Argus too to make it feel good from an art standpoint, but also thematically and also the kit. All that takes.
That's her
extra
pet, by
time,
the way,
and
that I was
think
talking
from
about.
Playtest and seeing how it's evolving, it looks really good. It feels very good.
So we'll still be leading up to HERA's arrival for a few patches, and then after she arrives, we'll see some more developments with how we're going to kind of take this story through the future, which will kind of be our next big chapter in Smite and the new gods that'll be arriving around the end of the year in season 6.
So again, just to recap, the Odyssey begins with the 5.17
Yeah,
update,
this
but
looking so
HERA
long.
will not be until 5.19, so plenty of time to ramp up and get ready, set the stage for such a grand entrance for HERA. Can you give us some more details about how the Odyssey is going to work this year? Because usually we do some different things every year.
Yeah, so this year we're trying to focus on the successful parts of the Odyssey and what's clear about the event. So we're not adding to any new systems or anything crazy. There will still be the quests and the purchases. You buy skins, you earn points, or you do the quests to earn points.
Sure.
Those will level you up through the bonus rewards where you can unlock additional skins, and eventually the tier 5 if you buy all the
Which is
content
an
or if
Ares
you
skin
switch
this
between
year, for those that
a
don't
good
remember.
combination of doing quests. And
Ares tier
getting
5
skins.
1.
What did we learn from the Divine Uprising event, and how did that kind of impact the way that the Odyssey is structured out this
I
year?
think tying it into the gods was a great thing that we learned. Is make it more thematically cohesive, tying in a story into it, which I believe. We'll see how it plays out, but basically what we did for Divine Uprising, but more. So tying it to the theme, to the lore, the story, and hopefully
And
resonate.
and it won't just be shown through the written parts of the story, the actual content in the game and the event and all of our videos and things like that. And the gods that arrive after HERA will make sense why the universe needs them. It won't just be, oh, we picked this character because we thought it was cool or we thought we could do this ability. It will actually physically work with the
I mean, I'm
Smite's
glad they're
current
putting in
lore.
a lot of
and
effort
shout
into
out
this.
to Jay Sharp, a
and that's
long-term
great.
hi-rez employee.
But I'm
really
a lot
led
more
this art style
interested
for us,
in the
which I think is a wonderful hand-painterly style. It alludes to mythology.
Wonderful
and,
style,
it's a
that's what
unique
I was
taste
thinking.
that we haven't done before.
Yeah, it really feels mythical to me. I like it a
Yeah.
lot.
Indeed,
So all
yeah.
of the Odyssey chapters are going to have an image like this, and you'll see
Spectacular.
some really cool
Mythical.
sets of what's going on in the game.
That's super cool. And ultimately, I mean, I don't think I'm giving anything away here. It's got to lead to this tier 5 Ares skin in some way, right? I mean, that is the Odyssey event, the reward that we've been talking about this year's tier 5.
Chuck looked
is
confused
that
there for
part
a
of the
second. He was
plan,
like,
one of the roadmaps
"Oh,
along
cow."
the way?
So
Oh my God, Ares
how I
did what?
see skins, they're an alternate fantasy, like an alternate universe. It's almost like if you watch Marvel and you follow DC Comics, there's always alternate universes that explore the characters you love.
Yeah.
And in T5 Ares is that. And what I love about T5 Ares, there's this evolution that we have where you have this holy, there's light guardian with this wonderful ornate armor, and he's from Mount Olympus, and he descends onto our world, and he finds his temple, And the story that we have in our head is he's trying to end all wars. He's trying to take the mantle as the god of war. He's not a nice guy, but he's tired and sick of the gods fighting. Right. So he enters this temple, this dark temple. He emerges in there and he hears his voice booming, echoing for him to come hither. As he gets closer and closer, he finds this relic. He grabs this relic, and it consumes him. And he turns into God Slayer Ares. You want to describe how it's?
Yeah, no. To make peace, he has to conquer everyone.
Right.
So he has this drive, and although he is shining light armor, he is a symbol of power and absolute strength, which is intimidating, especially or scary or evil if you're on the wrong side of him.
Right.
And he has noble drives behind his ambitions, but ambition can come at a cost. And when ambition combines with power that you cannot control, that's when you dive into darkness.
Indeed.
And that's kind of how we're taking
something at least. That's kind of cool.
You can see the updated art
There you
concept.
go. That's like a little something.
From the earlier iteration from the fan concepts and the voting. This is what we're going to be using going forward as we work on our modeling and animation.
It's going to end up nothing like
exploring,
that.
But
hope it does, because that's sick.
We're trying
to end up nothing
like
it. It never does.
The iconic
that
Ares
looks
shield
sick.
To be a sentient being, its own personality. And in, what we're doing right now is writing a script for the shield. So as you play the game, the shield would also whisper and consume you as you play.
It's the relic that slowly whispers in his ear, and the whispers get louder until he succumbs to the power.
And I want to know from the fans, I'll post it on Reddit, but I want to know if it should be the shield, should it be an announcer pack, or should it be part of Ares VO?
Yeah.
Because, end of day, if it's announcer pack, you can use it for any god.
Oh, yeah.
If you make it part of the script, then it's always tied to your current lines of Ares. So, which one did y'all want?
Yeah.
I want to try to figure that out, too.
Whatever people get excited about. We're trying to make as many new exciting things with this skin. It's, as you can see, it's got 4 forms. We're going to go with the level up progression on this skin. We want to make sure you get a good timing, good pacing with each form. But we are going to be looking into some new tech, some new exciting stuff for it. I'm working on a design right now that at level 20, so after you've seen all the forms and spent a good bit in each of them, you'll unlock a special emote. You can only use a level 20 that will let you rotate back between the forms to kind of choose your favorite or reset yourself.
That would be so cool.
So if some people like to see a little bit more of one form or the other, we want to give the players who get this skin, it takes a lot of engagement in playing Smite, so we want to make sure it has something cool and new to it.
I'm not saying that I may or may not have intentionally missed some farm on some tier 5 skins to keep the form I liked, but it's a possibility. So that would be nice, especially with the whispering thing. Here's a little bit of a sales pitch for you guys, just something to consider.
Are we still talking about
skin? What if we decided to go with the route of maybe the shield would, I don't know, keep track of beads timers for you? You'd just be playing, hey, Cupid beads are down until 350.
Aggro wants pay to win. Do you
Aggro
guys
wants
hear this?
pay to win.
I'm just saying,
roast aggro on Twitter now.
Idea, certainly, maybe it could be incorrect information, and you have to
incorrect
parse
information. I love trolling.
I
like that.
Parse, you have to figure
Pay to lose. Pay to lose. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
Blink Alt 5v1. You've got this.
Yeah, they're all dead.
Now,
it's only
I like
if you
the
want
idea
to.
of them coaching Ares into violent actions. Now that's a good pitch.
Okay, all right, we'll get there. So the Divine Uprising, we just went through that. This is moving now towards the Odyssey. How long will the Divine Uprising content stay?
Yeah, this is another new feature. We're going to keep Divine Uprising available in the game for, it's going to be about a month, so maybe 2 more patches. We're still kind of deciding that. But we want to give people a little extra time if they came to the event late to browse through all the cool content, decide what they really want. See what they may have picked up from the gem sale. Now they might want something they weren't interested in before.
What is this?
Yep.
I thought it was
so
a
it'll
patch
be around
note show,
maybe
but
519. That's a little flexible, but at least
trying
till
to
then,
get
probably.
me to buy
And so we'll actually
something.
overlap the Odyssey for a little bit, just in case.
thought
just in case
it
you're
was
a little
about
late.
patch
But
notes.
the Odyssey will be kicking off now
Pretty
anyway.
sure
That
they're
gem
trying
sale
to get me
definitely
to
want to make
buy
sure you take advantage because we're being nice. You can still get Divine Dragon Bologna in that tier 5 skin from the Divine Uprising while supplies last, which isn't going to be for very much longer. Guys,
like
thanks so
watching
much. Super
QVC,
excited about
dude.
HERA and the Odyssey and
Hashtag
can't wait to see
sponsor.
what's going to go on with it this year. The Project Olympus is something that players have really been asking about a lot on Reddit. I see it all the time. I hear we have some updates for that.
We got a couple interesting features for Project Olympus this patch. So one for console specifically, which this one I'm really excited about.
I almost had my
when
camera.
you are in certain menus and you can hit the B or circle button, which is kind of the default back button. A lot of them have functionality for that button, so in that case it'll still do what it's supposed to, but it'll exit the menu.
I don't know what that means.
Nice,
Congratulations.
Players when they're first learning on console might get stuck in a
console
level
people?
up menu or some things like that, and then they hit B and they're kind of Not sure why that doesn't exit. But
I don't know if that's important or
so
not.
We're just
but
trying to make the
cracks.
controls more fluid there. That's a really big
I
quality.
have no idea what that
I
means.
think.
So
Another one I've got listed here is that chests will now list all of their contents. So now you know exactly what you're getting in there.
You know, we got a lot of feedback about that, but I think that's a good thing. It's very player friendly. You get to see what's in the chest. So
I think they might legally
Perfect.
have
Transparency
to
is key in this. We want to
do
make sure that this
now
is
because
clear
of
for
some
everybody.
law
Absolutely.
changes.
And another thing that is coming to console that was on PC, now you can have video links for all the god abilities whenever you're previewing them. So maybe if you're an absolute fool and don't have the god pack, you're trying to figure out exactly who you want to get next, those god ability previews can be a good way to do it.
You know, definitely. I mean, end of
platforms now
day,
have
we
video
all say
links to
we want to make sure we improve the
any
console
god's
experience. It's time for us to keep
abilities.
doing
Oh, that's
that.
nice. Okay.
We just hired our tech director very recently. It takes months, if not longer, to really get things in the game. But we want to continually show love to console. It will take time, but we're going to aim for that.
Perfect. We'll always love to hear that for the console brethren. All right, guys, thank you so much. Super excited about what we got going on for Project Olympus, the Odyssey, HERA, all that kind of stuff. Let's throw it over to Hindu Man and Pon. They're on the desk to go over some bug fixes and balance changes.
Thank you so much, Aggro. I'm on the desk too. Well, I'm over there.
Hindu looking handsome today.
Welcome to
think it's the
the book
shirt.
and balance section. Pon is here alongside
Hindu
Pon.
lose
How
weight?
should they going?
It's been pretty good.
I think that shirt looks good on him.
Lunch. It was
Dude, Hindu's
yeah.
looking.
I actually ended up having curry.
Am I lit?
Curry's delicious.
Is it a haircut?
Cool. I just wanted to continue that conversation for
no.
you all at home who are desperate for the bugs and balance to find out what Pon had for lunch.
Yeah, it was
good.
great. It was like a sweet curry. It had some carrots and some potatoes and some onions. It had the nice thing of sticky rice. It was great.
Okay.
On then to the bug fixes and the balance. We're going to start off with bug fixes, and first one up is stuff to do with the UI.
Yep.
Now I'm going to read this out. The rules for how God stats are shown on loading frames have been updated. God stats no longer require you to have purchased a mastery skin to display on your loading frame. They will show up based on your hide God stats option in your profile loadout. New players will have their hide God stats option defaulted to hidden, and mastery levels 1 through 10, etc. will always display on your loading frame and cannot be hidden. So mastery level will display, but the stats goes to top
Whatever.
of win and losses and kills.
Who cares?
That'll only be displayed if you want it to.
Yeah, so part of this is actually just simplifying the system. I think that's the major goal that we had
Sure.
here was to simplify it because you had this God stat page and you had the ability to hide parts of it, and it had changed over the course of lifetime. So some people expect it to work one way versus another way, and you had to like buy these mastery skins to get this aspect of it. We've simplified it. Everyone always has access to this. Masteries always show. Your god stats are hidden by default, but you can have access to them on all gods without you needing to buy the mastery skin.
Cool.
Okay, nice and
Why
plain
not?
UI update there. Next up is Oni Hunter's Garb in terms of bug fixes. This item no longer counts as an aura item.
Yes, it was bugged. It was counting for Ares as an
Doesn't count
aura
as an
item.
Hang on, one second. Pop. There's an Ares tier 5 skin coming out soon. Why are we nerfing Ares?
Because this item was not an aura item.
That's
and
not
so
normal.
That's not
we
normal.
have removed it as an aura item.
Okay.
I know,
Yes,
Hindu.
that's
I
what
know.
read it.
I
It
know.
was like, oh, sorry, Ares mains. I might have intentionally got nerfed because that was where the bug report came from.
Hindu
Okay, after that
knows.
is
Hindu knows about the
Brachiosaurus.
Berserker
Up
shield
next,
below
if
and
you
above.
haven't noticed, and you want to try and use him now, do so. Because next patch, the minions from his ultimate will
do
no
they?
longer remove backdoor protection.
Oh no!
Yeah, they
Don't
changed
tell
it a
people
while
that.
ago, or a long time ago, for minions to not remove backdoor
Yeah.
protection.
No wonder why
Changed
Shing
the
is in
box
Grandmasters,
off
dude.
I'm blaming you for that one.
Oh,
you specifically.
It's
man.
probably my fault.
I'm
I
glad you
can't
accept the blame.
believe that's the
That
way
one's
that
actually
was
fine.
working.
That's the first time you've ever accepted the blame, too, you know?
Yeah, it's also the first time that's ever applied.
Guess that's a fair point. Next up,
That's a
Freya. We also
huge
fixed an
bug.
issue where... This is your fault, too.
Yes.
Where fixed an issue where her first ability was healing for 100% instead of 33%.
Woo!
Yeah, it's set to 100. It is now set to 33.
Okay, so a small nerf to Freya.
Yep.
Needed to happen anyway. It wasn't even really a nerf. It's a bug fix. But
How
Yeah, I
does
think the
that
big thing there is
happen?
even though it is a nerf, and we have spoilers, we have some stuff here. We are wanting to get her in a state where she is bug-free and doesn't have any of those issues to look at her bounce holistically, because when there are issues like that, it can kind of muddy the waters of what needs to be bounced versus what doesn't. So fixing that was a top goal. It is a nerf, but it also fixed to get her into the right spot.
I mean, it's
that we
a
need to
nerf-
for it.
it's
That
a nerf
explains
and a
why
fix
you
at
would
the same time.
always
I mean,
100%
deal
heal
with it.
when
If you don't
Freya
like it,
won.
It's fixed. It shouldn't have been that way in the first place.
You would always
That's
100%
it
heal.
for bug fixes
Okay.
on this list now. So you guys know.
I don't
during
even know
the
how
patch
that-
notes,
that
do follow
happens.
A massive list, so go read them if you're really interested there. We'll move on to items, and an item you've all been
Spaghetti
waiting
code,
for. It got
dude.
leaked
Here we
earlier on
go.
this week.
Golden sword.
It's golden and it's back. But
They're
it's a
really
blade
calling it
this
golden
time and
blade.
not a
They are.
bow, which means
Yep. It is melee only.
Only available to the assassin class.
I'm going to read through the stats though, because there has been some adjustments to this overall. So it's a new item. It's only going to be available to assassins and the warrior classes. Upgrades
Suck at warriors.
1,000-fold blade, so it's part of that tree. It's going to cost 2,200 gold, 30 physical power, 15% attack speed, 10% movement speed. No crit, boys.
No crit.
Passive. All basic attacks will also hit enemies within a 15-unit radius of the target for 50% of the damage to gods. 75% damage to minions and jungle camps.
Pretty big.
So this is coming back.
How big is 15-unit radius?
Being available for certain gods.
I don't know how big that
is.
is.
Roles. Is that what it is?
Yes, I think that's the big thing here. Is kind of a brief history. The old Golden Bow had some issues when it was in its weaker form. It was very niche in its application, and it was part of the reason why like the god in particular, Mercury, was very largely successful because that item existed. But it's really weird to have a character rely on one item so heavily as much as he did.
Sure.
And so we were like, well, let's take this item that is for one character, make it a bit more widely applicable, and see how that does. And we did that mainly for the hunters to maybe even out some early game trades, like for example, Artemis was being cleared. Artemis could pick this up early game and get access to that. And that really washed out the diversity of that class. We didn't really have any difference between hunters now. We just had difference between what kind of like steroids they brought to the fight versus like the early game, late game diversity. So in its weak form, it had problems where it was only good really on one character, and we'd rather bring that character up so they're not reliant on the item. And in its most powerful cases, it was just completely washing out any difference. And that was largely due to the fact that the tier 2 had the cleave, had critical strike on it.
I don't love this item coming back. Even in this form.
With this redesign,
we'll see what happens.
So that hunters can't use it to wash out their differences.
It always causes problems.
Assassins can pick this up and use it to augment their clear or to kind of get some more splash damage in. And there's no crit on it that can allow it to suddenly spike.
So with that, you can just a quick recap: physical power, attack speed, and movement speed.
We'll see what happens, but I just
the same tree as the melee items too. Now, don't get too.
It's just one of those things. You'll have to test it, you know.
Yeah, this one's interesting.
Next, HEARTSEEKER is going to be getting a bit of a shift, and some of this obviously is because we're bringing in the Golden Blade too. But when looking at the item in the Katana tree, it decided HEARTSEEKER was the best choice to move away from that tree.
Yeah. So we kind of had a choice of like, do we want to leave HEARTSEEKER where it is and let this item tree have 5?
Are they changing it at all?
We'd have to do a little extra work to do that, but we can do that. The big thing here was that we looked at the tree holistically, and they all kind of had their own identity, but HEARTSEEKER felt like it was a bit outside of that scope.
Okay.
For example, Stone-Cutting Sword, these are all effects that like we feel.
So they going to remove its movement speed?
Masamune getting those big extra boosts of protection when people are around kind of washes out their squishy nature. The Stone-Cutting Sword stealing protection to do something similar. Hastened Katana, we've been down that rabbit hole before. But HEARTSEEKER is something that we feel like ability hunters, there's a world where this effect can live on those ability hunters and not feel super problematic. So we're going to give them access to that, and that opens up a nice spot for Golden Blade.
So this has been a little bit redesigned too, and the icon has been changed on this, I heard as well. Moving to the HERA's tree, it can now be bought by all physical power classes, so that's assassins, warriors, and hunters too. It upgrades out from the charged Morningstar. It's going to cost 2,300 gold. It's 1,100 gold upgrade from the tier 2, and it's going to be 30 physical power, 10 physical penetration, but it's going to get 200 mana and 7 MP5 on this as well. And the passive, every successful basic attack gives you 1 stack. At 5 stacks, your next ability deals bonus damage equal to 80% of your physical power to the first enemy god hit and restores 10% of your maximum mana.
Yep. So you lose the movement speed, but you gain access to a little bit of mana regeneration and a proc that also further restores your mana regeneration.
A lot of
they gave
there's quite a bit of mana
an Uller Neath item basically.
Well. For example,
they said, "Hey, Uller Neath, you guys want a new item?"
Neath might be able to utilize as well.
Papa, don't say what I say.
Out there and poke with more
don't say what I say.
But we also still expect this to be really good on assassins. And then there's even some assassins that, for example, Bastet, where Transcendence was a bit slow because he had to stack it, although it was a good power spike. It wasn't a bad item. And then the Hydra Star was not quite there in terms of like, well, you don't really basic attack cancel.
It's a weird item. It could work though. That could find its way into some builds.
Constantly get in and use
especially
mana.
like a mid hunter.
A door
like
where
a mid hunter build.
Want on Bastet's power pen and that mana
I can see it.
So it's also pretty applicable to some current existing assassins as well.
So that's a little look at HEARTSEEKER and Golden Blade coming to the battlegrounds. Next
Also,
up.
as a note, real quick, someone basically guessed this item perfectly on Reddit.
Oh, what, that one?
Yeah, it was
Really?
actually really funny. When Golden Blade was teased, they like guessed it perfectly. They're like, yeah, this is gonna move here, this is gonna move here, it's gonna have this stats. And like, I think the only thing that was missed was the max mana.
Did it say Hindu man and it was me?
Yeah, it was me.
I used my ultimate
It was pretty.
account.
It was pretty crazy. You're like, oh man, that person just nailed it.
It's my Smurf Reddit account, just in case, just so you guys know. Ethereal Staff is going to get a buff. Is the final item change
That
this
makes
week.
sense.
It's going to get
Staff,
a
nobody
bit of love.
uses
It's
it.
going to come down in cost. It was 2,700 gold. It's going to be 2,600
That's
gold. But
fine.
not only that, we've increased the health percentage stolen on passive ability from 4% to 5%. So swings at both ends. More technically damage coming out from this, and also a cost reduction.
Maybe
Yeah, it's a really
get it a
unique
little bit
item
used.
that
That's a good
actually is
change.
like a
Those are the
first,
changes that I
mana steal
like.
You're really done in the game.
Those are the
It also has
changes
the
that I
health
think
steal,
should
it
happen
produces
more
trickiness.
often.
It still
Little
does
bit
have
less
a bit
gold,
of competition between.
A little bit
Soul
better.
Reaver,
You know what I'm saying?
and
We don't
wanna
need
really
like
highlight
these
its
giant
strength, which is really
swings.
stealing that health to
I
make it
like
more
that
tanky.
kind of
For
change.
Soul
I
Reaver
love
is a
the.
pure
Okay,
DPS
so that doesn't get
So
bought.
bringing
Let's
down
just
the
make
cost,
it a little
increasing
bit
health
here
stolen,
and a little bit
making
there.
sure its identity
You
is
know?
solid.
Okay, so
I like
that's it
that.
for items.
Those are the way
the reason
changes
we
should
got to Curious,
happen.
'cause there's a lot of mixture going on now, I guess, when you look at the competitive aspect at least. Like, there's a lot of varying items. So the list is a little short. New item, a buffed item, and then a shifted item.
Those are the
across
small
way.
item
I mean, that's gonna
changes.
shake
Small
up a lot
item
already
changes.
on its own.
They don't want to change
Definitely,
up.
and you've already
They
got
don't
the
do
Berserk
usually
Shield
crazy
Gaming last patch
patches
as
this
well,
time
which
of the
is just
year
on live right
because
now.
it's
That's it
the
for
the
items.
world split
Time to
for
move on to
FPL.
God Balance.
So they
And we're
usually
gonna
try
start
not to do
things off
anything
with
too crazy.
Athena is going to be getting a bit of a, well, a buff and a nerf, I
Her
guess.
reach benefits
So
from
reach
life
now
steal.
properly
Okay.
benefits from lifesteal at 33%. Was it not doing that before?
Yeah, it wouldn't heal you.
Oh.
Just wouldn't. And so now it
Look
does
at
at 33%, like it should.
Cool. And on top of
How
that,
about
the
that?
next one is Preemptive Strike. That's the dash ability for you guys at home if you don't know.
Oh.
It's going to have a cooldown now of 14 seconds at all ranks. It used to scale down. It was 15 to 11.
needs a nerf. She's
So
too strong.
on paper,
A sad boy.
it's rank 2 of this ability in the early game. So it's a buff in the early game, but the late game, it's a little bit worse.
Yeah, so Athena's kind of an interesting case because as a whole, her ability to really pressure fights in the late game is her strongest aspect. You see it in the SPL all the time where the Athena on a very low cooldown charge is able to engage, break Phoenix sieges, break Phoenix defenses, is really able to just get in there and kind of really mess up enemy plans in a way that is causing her to be incredibly played. And so even though we
Incredibly
are buffing
played.
her early game a little bit
I mean,
here,
she's-
because that's something you
let's
want
be
to keep
real.
up
She's
point
very
up. You want
strong.
the rank 2
We
taunt,
don't have to
and
lie
if
to
you're being
ourselves.
aggressive, you want to level up
She's
to
strong.
3. If you are holding on to that rank 1, it is going to be more powerful. You're going to be more powerful for the lower cooldown by 1 second. But really, it's that late game that pushes her over the edge, and that's why we're bringing that down.
So.
Okay, that's that for Athena. Next up is
She'll be fine. They didn't touch her.
A little bit of love
her
for
taunt,
CABRAKAN.
so.
Seismic Crush is going to get a bit of a buff here.
Okay.
We're decreasing the cooldown.
Nobody plays
It
CABRAKAN,
was
so that's
18
fine.
seconds, but it's now going to scale down as you rank up this
Sure.
ability. 18 seconds down to 14 seconds at the late stages.
Yep. So this one's a kind of a cool one because the goal here with this one is to really buff him in his more off rolls.
Okay.
We know that he has the potential to just really take over the soul lane, and so if you change your faction shield or tremors, he can really start bullying people out. But the one is something that's more unique to his support aspect. It's something more unique to his jungle aspect, and so we can bring that up and give him kind of some new life in those roles while not really worrying too much about breaking him out and causing
I
him
don't
to be
think that'll
problematic
really
with the soul lane.
change
It's also
CABRAKAN
his
at
form
all.
of mobility in
Yeah.
CC2, so it comes a lot of things with
That's
that.
fine.
So CABRAKAN may see some few more games. We'll find out.
That's fine.
After that, it's on to CERMUNNOS, who's also going to get a bit of a love here. It's
Don't-
on Bramble
CERMUNNOS. Oh, I thought it
Blast.
said- I thought it was
Increase the base
Cerberus.
damage per tick of Bramble Blast.
Okay, that's
So it's
fine.
not
Oh,
the
God.
initial damage, it's
thought they
the
were
tick
buffing the
afterwards.
Popo for a
It's
second.
going to go from 4 to 20.
That's
It's now going to be
fine.
6
Nobody
to
plays
22 per
Yep.
tick. So
Cool.
it's like, what, 2-ish at each rank, but that's still going to make an impact.
Fine.
Yeah, so the big thing here is increasing
Two
kind of
whole
the damage
damage,
that it does.
baby.
It was quite potent when it was on launch. It had a slow, its damage was a bit higher, and that was something that we toned down really heavily. But we want to bring back some of that threatening nature that he had when he was released, just not in the ways that were frustrating, not in the ways that were like the slow, for example.
Whatever.
So now it'll help the wave clear. It's a bit more threatening to stand in. It's a bit more damaging to stand in. This should give him a little bit of a push to help him compete with the other hunters.
Well, that's one hunter. How about another hunter? CHIRON, going to get another bit of love here. Training exercise. We're going to increase the base damage of this
For
ability.
me?
It was 70 to 270.
For me?
It's now going to be 80 to 300. So top end, ooh, it's a
Yeah.
nice big chunk top end. Early game, not so much, but late game, oof.
Buffing
Yeah, it's gonna hurt.
CHIRON
He's an
for
ability hunter,
daddy.
making sure that that one, even though it has strong
Oh,
CC
yeah.
utility
I
purposes,
love
using it for the
CHIRON.
offensive purposes, it just
I
didn't quite
love
have enough
him.
impact for him to really utilize it well, or to have that as much of a kind of hit that he should. So we're giving that a little bit of damage, helping him compete a bit
he's
more.
so good in the mid lane.
He also got
He's so good.
He did also get HEARTSEEKER.
Oh, yeah.
Then, next up, Pompon mentioned it. It's a little bit more of a touch towards FREYA's direction this patch too, not just in what we mentioned earlier on. Northern Lights.
There we go.
It's going to reduce the magical power scaling of this ability. It was 50. It's going down to 40%.
Pilot
ability power.
Yep, very late game targeted.
That's fine.
The early game, we feel like we've gotten into a relatively good spot.
So
We
they've
toned down some
bug
of the damage with the
fixed
ranged
her
attack.
1
We've,
lifesteal.
Been a lot of changes since her
10%
rework.
scaling
This
on
one was very
Northern
targeted towards that
Lights.
late game, especially that burst off the whoop combo. Just bringing that down so players have more time to react to it or more chance to survive.
That's probably
it
all
when
they're
trying
gonna
on the
do
Freya
here, I
after you just
think.
One shot.
Just reduce that chance of one-shotting happening.
Okay, and last but not least,
That might
RATATOSKR.
actually
He's going to get a bit of
possibly
a
get
nerf
her
this
out of the
patch
ban,
too.
but I don't think
He's
so.
been a
Yeah,
bit too
screw
squirrely
that.
for our
He's
liking.
been
Through
way
the
too
Cosmos.
strong. That's a
Cooldown
good
increased. It was
change.
90 seconds. It's
That's
going to
a
scale
good
now. Starting at
change for
110,
him.
and it will come back down to 90 when you hit level 20.
Yeah, I think
Good
RATATOSKR's early game is really his defining feature. The fact that he can buy the acorn while he's out so he doesn't have to back into the jungle. His ability costs aren't too aggressive, so with a few mana potions you can really stay out for a long duration. And then that low cooldown that really lets you go around the map makes it hard for the enemy jungler to counter engage or react to what you're doing.
His ulti
This
being that
opens up a
strong
window
with that
where
cooldown
my
was
cooldown is
just-
going to come up before yours because yours is at
That's too
110. It's a
strong.
semi-global anyway, which a lot of our true global ults do have this longer cooldown.
Yeah.
It opens up the window for enemy junglers to really actually be like, okay, you've used that long cooldown. I have an opportunity here to get I can use my ult now, try and make some pressure, and use my ult again to make pressure before you can actually answer me back.
Yeah, I
like
think with
that
RATATOSKR too, even though it's not a full official global, because he can stay in the air for so long anyway, it does a lot for the game. So a relatively good nerf there, and that's it for the God section. So here's a little look back. 3 buffs and 3 nerfs this patch.
FREYA will
RATATOSKR,
still be
FREYA,
strong,
and
but
Athena
a little
nerfed.
bit less
Ooh,
ridiculous.
What are Twitter going to complain about today?
Yeah, we fixed everything. It's done.
We'll find out. I'm
CHIRON
sure,
could actually
after the show ends,
be in
that's
a
for
really
sure.
good
But that's it
spot
from me
with
and
that
Pump for today.
HEARTSEEKER
Pump,
change.
it's time for you to go and show off the skins.
Plus
right?
that little buff
Well,
on
let's
the
get
one.
over to Aggro to show off the nice skins coming this patch.
CHIRON mid might be.
Thank you very
might be
much,
feeling
guys.
some
It's
love.
your local Neath HEARTSEEKER main here.
Yes, it is.
Really good stuff. I'm
back.
excited to see what HEARTSEEKER and the new golden sword. Oh, by the way, it's Tina's birthday today, and we are celebrating.
Did you see that
Happy
guy in
birthday,
the
Tina.
background?
Happy
Just trying to blow
birthday, Tina. Tina was saying she wanted a hat before. And all I had to do was say, I wish I had a hat too, Tina, knowing that I was getting a hat later. I knew the whole time.
Oh, no.
Sneaky,
That was unfortunate.
We got okay. Thank you for that. Joining me, not just the birthday girl Tina, but we've got Chris from the effects team and
Okay.
Ben as well. Guys, welcome in. A lot of really good skins
That
to get
was
to.
awkward.
What?
Oh,
Don't show it
that,
off.
That
You gotta-
entire
Yeah, man, you gotta keep that
thing
face
was
out.
worth it for
Follow
that
and retweet to enter.
absolute
You know?
Oh, and retweet to
disaster.
That's going to be big plays.
trying to
Let's start
celebrate.
with Cyber Scythe Thanatos. This one is looking really awesome. It's been in the background of a lot of our graphics so far today. I'm super psyched about it. We've seen some really cool Thanatos skins in the past, but this one, man, that face mask
Man,
is
I
so
just-
sick.
Spooky, man.
I
Yeah,
just
we
don't
have
love that they're
been
doing
ramping up on
another
some of the
Thania
cyberpunk
Anubis
stuff,
skin.
and we.
This is
would
me
be a good
moving out of
thing
the
for this
way.
guy. We haven't seen a lot
This
of
is
like kind
me
of skins like this for him, so we were
moving
like,
out of
we
the
do
way.
this like Thanatos and like kind of depth.
I
but cyber, right?
as
So,
much
like,
as
what
the
about,
skin
like,
is
a cyber
cool
kind
and
of
things
skull
are
mask,
cool,
right?
I don't love them giving skins to
love those
people that
little,
have
like,
15
glitchy-
skins.
Yeah,
I just don't like
going
it.
on there.
Just
That looks really, really good.
I
And
understand
the
that every time they
alternating
release a
colors.
Thanatos
Dude, this
skin, you get
is
so much money because
cool,
everybody
dude.
buys
I'm
it
so
because they love
excited about it.
Thanatos.
Let's get
That's all effects.
But I
right?
just there's just
Yeah,
so
yeah.
many
Yeah,
gods
this
that
is
just have
sick.
like
what
two
kind of went
skins.
into a lot of the work on
And this is like
Chris?
his 12th skin.
There was a lot of mesh work for the
know?
effects artist. He did a really good job on that, and yeah, the material work is pretty intense too. He did a really awesome job on that too, like all that flickering stuff. The in-hands look amazing.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, the little trail they leave behind, the little electric shock they kind of give you. Definitely something that I'm looking forward to. Is there's the Soul Reap, looking really good. A giant cyber scythe. Do we know where we can get one of those?
Say that
Amazon,
five
right?
times fast, man.
Giant cyber scythe. No, that's easy, dude.
Giant cyber
That's easy mode here, Ben. Come on, man. I can do better than that. There's the you got the spooky face on the execute
Oh, yeah.
too. That's really, really awesome. Tina, you always like to give us the background of these. How did Cyber Scythe Thanatos get into the network? How did he hacker in there?
He's not really a hacker. He's more of like
Hacker?
A,
I barely even
cyber
know her.
kind of dude.
Oh no.
Like he's.
You know you can
well,
just turn off the screen though, right?
Well, no, like he's okay. He's not like in that sense of like online. I mean, like he's a bounty hunter who's like a bully.
Okay.
Like he will kind of go out of his way to find the people that he needs to, and he's mean. Yeah. I'm just saying cyber.
That guy's laugh though.
Cyber.
Pretty well timed.
He's not like sending a meme tweet.
No. He's not that kind of cyber bully.
He'll find you. He'll dox you on the internet.
On your Instagram.
Right, and figure out your password,
This
get
is-
into your bank account,
This is what we've come to.
transfer some money, and then
It's a
use
cool
the money that
skin.
he
I'm
stole from
loving
you.
it.
Do we
to
really
buy a
care
train,
about the
get on the
lore
train, and then kill you.
of
Yeah.
the
That's messed up.
skin?
Dude. That's a whole lot of
He'll
levels.
like transfer.
Is
Yeah,
this what we've
exactly.
Because
come
not only
to?
is he killing you, but he's stealing your identity beforehand.
Right.
And so you have to
Dang.
deal with all that in the weeks leading up to you getting. It's
So
horrible.
he's kind of like a stalker on the cyber, on the internet, because that's how he finds his people to kill.
His prey.
His prey, right?
Instagram.
Because
Alright.
people pay him to find shit on the internet about those people.
Oh, okay.
Like he doesn't go out and take photographs like an investigator does. He does it with his like sneaky code. And
Hacker voice. I'm in.
Dang.
Yeah.
Cover your webcam, children.
Yeah. Cover up your webcam with some tape, or else Cyber Thanatos is gonna find
This
you.
is
yeah, cover that
getting.
webcam.
Dude, that too is so cool. The wings
This
extend
is
Yeah.
getting.
like that. Oh, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, let's take a listen to the voice pack
Worse.
here for Cyber Thanatos.
Attack middle lane. Attack the Titan. Defend left lane. The bounty on your head is quite low. Almost not worth it. Your pain is my pleasure.
At least the voice pack's different. I can deal with it.
Kill. Lethal.
At least the voice pack doesn't sound like every other voice pack in the game.
If I were to pick up the phone
That's
and hear
something.
voice on the other end, I'd be like,
As long as the voice packs are unique at this point, it works for me.
at this point, looking really awesome there.
Does it not sound like
voiced
every other
by
god's
Steven
voice pack?
Fu.
No?
Yes.
Cool beans.
Really cool.
Awesome. Unique.
Yeah,
even
for
if
Cyber
you don't like
Thanatos.
it,
Okay,
at
let's
least
move
it's
on.
different.
Cosmic Power
Cool.
Anubis.
I'll take it.
This one, same
I'll
line as the other
take it.
Cosmic Skins, as I mentioned. This is one of my favorite lines that we do. The Kepri one is incredible. That was one of the more recent ones.
This one's
and
really
now
good, too.
Anubis joining the ranks. Looking really solid. Nothing like a
I do
space
admit,
doggo
I
to
love
really get
Space abs, doggo,
the
dude.
space-
Like,
Working out.
so
These ribs.
cut, dude.
But why
Convince me.
Anubis?
Yeah, he definitely could.
Space
That man,
theme is
like,
great.
How are you
Why-
supposed to compete
Why
with
not
that?
so
Like, my
clean?
dog's really
He
cute,
could be
but
a
she doesn't
big
have
fat
a cosmic
star.
six-pack.
It's
One that's stick,
perfect.
dude.
Yeah.
Make a
No,
fetch.
this is like
It's perfect.
This one looking really awesome, man. The detail on the staff. And the detail for these cosmic skins always seems to be really tough. Really awesome. How tough is it for these cosmic ones on the effects side?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, yeah, a lot of the material work it's pretty difficult. You know, you have a lot of like, you have to overlay that galaxy thing in a lot of things, and that's sorry, it's a bad explanation, but a lot goes into it for sure.
The material for the effects, like
The
the,
skin's
galaxy
cool.
stuff, like,
I
it's
love
on
the
his
space skin.
body
It's
too.
cool.
Sure.
So like it's like not only is in the effects abilities, but actually on his material, and it's a combination of like multiple moving parts that kind of make it feel like there's a lot of depth, and there's actually like a galaxy thing going on.
That's so cool. Oh,
Oh, the
look at
planet.
that.
That's dope.
That's so cool. The little lions. Oh man, this skin. You know,
Oh, look.
we make a lot of great stuff, but anytime I see an Anubis skin, I'm like, number one, is this gonna beat the tier 5? And if it does beat the tier 5, is it gonna beat that one where you turn into a literal turret when you ult? And this one is right there, man. This one is super cool. The full combo on display by
Whoa.
Pon Pon. That the
Such
laser
skill.
light show straight
Such
from the
skill.
eyes.
Dang.
look at that.
Love the little effects
Right from
underneath
the
him
eye.
on the
Yeah.
ground, like he's
That
channeling the
vortex.
power of the universe
It's cool.
from the bottom there.
Ooh, cool.
Tina, I'm a little nervous about asking, but how did Anubis become this cosmic
Don't
power?
ask.
He's just always been the primordial god in this. He's not really like a death god the way I wrote him. He's still like evil, but he's like primordial, and he's, you know, along the side of Kepri and stuff. But Kepri's like kind of the better guy, and he is the darker guy. He's like kind of Kepri's
Racist.
nemesis,
Okay,
pretty much. Yeah,
Okay.
is how I wrote him.
I like it. That's super cool. The effects on this skin looking awesome. Let's take a listen to the voice pack here. Oh no,
Wow.
Pon Pon. No. Pon Pon.
He doesn't have the voice back?
Pon, you missed out.
Nice.
We've done 17 update shows in
He
season
doesn't
5
have
alone, Pon.
the
This is our
voice back.
17th. unfortunate. You can't hide from us, Pawn. We all know what happened. Did that fix it? Did we get there? I don't think that loads the voice back. Unfortunate. Okay, so go make sure you can try out the PTS and check this out. Maybe we'll be able to release something on our social media channels as well. But I do have a note here that it's the same guy who did the base Anubis voice.
Yes, same guy.
Just a little bit of cosmic energy.
That was the Maddie Pocket Anubis, dude.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just more like big voice.
Nice, I like it. All right, that's
Tiny
Cosmic Power
boy.
Anubis there again. Apologies on that voice pack. Hindu man, dude, it's cool. Don't go beat up Pon. Hindu, sit down.
I'll get him!
No, it's cool. Pon, you're fine. He's sitting down
Hindu's
now.
going in for the
Don't
kill.
run. We still need you here for the next skin in particular, which is General Nossaris Kumbhakarna.
Oh, this is dope.
Dude, can I just say I love this skin? I say that for
It is
literally every skin,
amazing.
so it probably doesn't matter to anybody. But I really do love this skin.
I
okay?
love this skin too.
It's looking really
Okay.
awesome, and you know we do a lot of these
This
high
is a
tech
good
skins.
skin.
Ben, the last two have kind of looked that way. You know, cyber and then space. This one is just visceral.
This is a good
gonna
skin.
Beat you up with whatever he's got.
We try to give a nice range of skins.
Right.
And it's hard to do skins for Kumba. It's the bigger guys. It's hard to give them some good
pretty
love.
thick.
So we were like, what could we do that could be like that same kind of mass, but at the same time you're really unique and interesting and new. And we're like, why not do like a rhino? That'd be freaking cool, right?
So cool. I mean,
He's so cool, dude.
Kumba is gonna be charging. Dude, that mouth is so good. The detail, just incredible. Still a sleepy rhinoceros, but a rhinoceros nonetheless. Where does a rhinoceros go to get a hammer like that, by the way?
So he's
Hey,
from
Thick,
he's
this
from a
this
city.
man is all torso, dude.
Which
This guy's
city?
got
Do you know?
some stubby little legs.
If it's unnamed or
Sumabi.
okay.
And the state of Sumabi is where he's from, and he's the general there. So he is very strict about protecting his city and his people. So anyone who threatens him, he charges at him and, fights back. So, yeah.
He's in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
horn.
I love it. The effects are super
The
cool.
the desert
Very,
style
the-
theme is
these
pretty cool.
tones
Like
are
the sand
very
theme, I guess.
Tribal kind of marks.
tribal, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Very earthy too. It's a nice separation from the previous skins we've
Pretty
had.
good.
Yeah, definitely. A totally different feel from some of the other skins during this update, and I think it fits beautifully. There's the epic uppercut. You got some effects going underneath him. Goodness, Pon. Take it easy on the poor Odinbot. One-shot him there with epic uppercut. Dude, sending them all up for the ride. These sorts of quick effects that you see during the you're not spending a whole lot of time in epic uppercut, but there's still a
I'm
ton
glad that
of
it's
detail
different.
there.
I like
those
skins that are
harder
just
to do
different.
Sometimes the ones that you see
know?
consistently.
Yeah, some of the
Has a
quick
good
ones
variety.
are a
Right.
lot harder to work in because there's not much like persistent stuff to like take in. You have to make it all fit like real tight. So
It's really good. Ben, I saw a lot of people on Reddit getting excited about this skin, and they said they really like this idea of like new animal forms kind of
Yeah.
for some of these gods. Is this something that is something that we might be looking to do some more of?
I mean, the fans will tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you like this stuff,
Yeah, if you
speak
like it.
up.
We
And by
would
speak
love to
up,
do
you
more
mean
of these.
buy gems. You know?
See them jams.
Yeah, the gem play.
Yeah, we'd love to do more of these. If the fans are into it, we would love to do more of these. This is really fun to make.
Hindu. All right, fine. Let's listen to the voice pack. Goodness. Hold your horses over there.
Attack the middle lane. Attack the right.
That's a good voice
Attack
pack.
the left lane. I'm the veteran he. Attack the Titan. You serve our country well. Huzzah!
Dude,
You
this
are
voice pack.
quite small for a warrior.
it's very sensual.
Unicorns may have horns, but we rhinos have curves. My son keeps charging things, and finally, I decided to take the credit card from him.
Jesus.
Dude, this
That's a good laugh.
Who did this voice? Because this is incredible.
Demetrius Murray. I asked him to do like just a country in Africa that he could do, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll go with Nigeria," and he did a Nigerian voice for me.
Dude, this is incredible. I love it. We also have a VXG
job.
for this, a special emote for this skin. Oh, we do, Hindu. So
Ooh.
I didn't
let's
know
take
that
a look.
either.
Oh, he's war crying across the map. Dude, that's so cool. I really like the sorts of ones that you can do while you're walking. And
War cry.
this gives me something to do with my hands.
Camera,
while
please.
I'm walking
Camera,
around,
please.
And that's a really cool one.
Cause he's a general.
Good. Good
In
skin.
general. Yeah, exactly. It empowers him.
Good
It's not
skin.
actually. There's no stat boost, but
Good voice pack.
you
Good
know.
stuff.
That's
I
so
like
good.
it.
I really wish that we could have certain skins that can do their VXGs in combat because I just want to BM
like an
people
auto
with them.
VXG after a kill or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be
That'd be really awesome. All right, last but certainly not least, Pixel Chaos Discordia.
Yay!
It's gonna be
Another
interesting.
skin that people have been really, really hyped
I don't
about
like
on Twitter
Discordia,
and Reddit for good
so
reason. This skin,
I've got
Discordia has
you
been out for a
know,
little bit. The kind of goth skin that she has, one that I use all the time. I love that one.
Woo!
But this is just awesome, dude. I mean, look at it.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Pretty colors, man.
Yeah, the colors are phenomenal. Did you work on this one?
I sure did. I did the effects for
Look
it.
at you!
Wow.
Good job.
Chris, let me be the first to say, do a little better next time. I'm kidding. This is phenomenal.
All right.
This is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. She's got like a high-tech Rubik's Cube there, it looks
Yes.
like.
Yeah.
Instead
I'm
of an
just
apple,
curious
is
what
that-
her
is
skill
that instead of
effects
the
look
apple?
like.
Yeah,
That's what I want to see.
modeling took care of that one actually.
Yep, yeah, it's a replacement for the Apple. You'll see how cool it gets whenever she does her ult.
Oh man. I'm
Cool
excited.
auto attacks
Wait,
now.
hold on. Can we turn up the
Yeah.
volume on those auto attacks real
Gotta
quick?
hear this chip tune.
That's
That's
so
really cool.
Tighten up the graphics on level 3 with this one.
Yeah, this is awesome. Oh my god,
Cool
it's so
cue.
cool. The like 8-bit noises,
Yeah.
man, are throwing me back right now.
Right?
Ties it all together, man.
It really does. I love the. Okay, I'm done, dude. I'm done. This is incredible.
Nice work, man. That's awesome.
That is really cool.
That is
Yep.
so cool. I am
Dope.
freaking out right now over that stripe.
good.
The like
coin sound.
Look at him, he's turning red. Look at him. Look at
I'm not turning red.
it's so good.
him.
I like that it
Let's
shows
check
you
out
kind
the
of like
three. I want to see the little
right when it's about to go off too.
pixel
actually.
cloud. She gets this. Oh man, and it changes color. I'm done, dude. This is the best. This is the best Discordia skin we'll ever have. We never have to make another Discordia skin after this, guys. We don't
Just
have
like
to.
Zonkwe.
Because why would we need another one at this rate? My goodness.
This
All right,
is
I want to
really
check out
good.
this alt. Let's see it.
Do it.
Do it.
It's dope.
Wait, no,
You
see the
gotta see it in
front.
motion,
Watch the
hold on.
front.
You
Watch
gotta
the
see it in
front.
It eats you. Okay. All right. Does someone else, Hindu? Can you move over here? Because I can't. I can't, dude. This is too good.
It's a lot of laughing.
This is
a lot of
amazing.
laughing.
Yes.
Pixel
Take
Chaos Discordia.
that.
These effects are just
Waka,
incredible.
waka, waka,
The-
waka, waka,
the-
waka, waka.
Just her base model looks
Those
super
Odins are
cool.
gone now. Look what you've done.
I'm so
Bye,
stoked about
Odins.
this skin.
Everybody
Seriously.
wave goodbye to the
dress
Odins. They're
is
gone
like
now.
that. It's a
Goodbye.
little bit more solid. It doesn't have that pixel nature to it, and it looks like it has a ton of detail in there as well.
If you get up close, there's some elements that kind of are subtle with the pixels. We wanted to have the effects and the wings kind of really pop with the pixel stuff, but we still wanted to supplement it with some subtle bits going on in there.
Yeah. That's really, really awesome. It does really make the wings and
The effects were cool in this skin. I
actually
think
have
I think it
face
looks
in it? Like
okay,
the
but
one
I
she's
think the
holding?
skin effects were really
Where-
good. So
It's just
It's
a little,
like the little holes in it.
that's like the face.
Yeah. It's like its mouth, man. It's where it eats.
Oh.
It's gonna bite you.
It's mouth, man.
This is insane. All right,
It's
I need
not
a minute.
Pac-Man,
I'm taking the
it's
voice pack so I can
Mouth Man.
Maybe not. Who knows?
You dry off, dude?
Attack middle lane.
Don't
Yeah!
sue, please.
You rock, dude. Attack the Titan.
See, this voice pack to me sounds like the same as every other voice pack in the
I'm
game.
pretty dope. Do not winky face at me. I am not in the mood.
Sounds like every other voice pack to me.
Oh, you're one of those who blame the lag. I'm not overpowered. I guess you're just bad.
Wow.
Real life? Yeah, I've never even heard of that server.
So Pixel Chaos Discordia is kind of like a cool retro gamer. You know,
Yes.
she like really likes the pixels and that kind of stuff, but she's still modern and hip in that regard.
Yes.
My goodness. Okay. I'm done.
My goodness.
I can't sit here and watch this anymore without needing it immediately, so we're gonna need to take it out. The incredible skins this patch. I am so excited for this update. It's gonna be really, really awesome. Again, this is just the beginning of the Odyssey, guys. If this is our starting point,
Oh,
then
this
who
is the
knows
start
where
of
we're
the
gonna end
Odyssey.
up, but it's gonna be a good one for sure.
It's gonna keep on coming.
So that's the
That's right.
official
Thank you
first
guys
patch
again.
of the Odyssey.
Again, Tina,
I guess.
happy birthday.
Thank you.
Hope it's a great one.
Oh,
Let's
thank
throw it
you
over to
so
Hindu on the
much.
desk with Isaiah and Offrin.
Well, oh well, oh well.
What's
some
happening
amazing
over
skins
here?
again. It's not often I get to
What's
say that
up?
because I'm very picky about my skins. That Kumbhakana one.
A1.
Definitely sold me. Joined on the desk, obviously, by Isaiah and Alvin, the community members.
What do you guys
for the different
kinda tell
teams.
me
And first
about
one, Isaiah, I'm gonna
community
come to you.
members?
What goodies have you got for me this week?
I got some goodies this weekend. Right now, you can save up to 35% off on gym packs for a limited time. We've got a gym sale going
they're
on.
selling me
You
gems.
guys have until September 9th is the last day to pick up gyms at a discounted price. So if you want to pick up any of that awesome stuff that you just saw, make sure stock up on gems. There's no better time than now.
Again.
So that's going to be September the 9th. Okay, got more days still for that.
Yep.
What else you got?
This weekend, win 3 games, earn a cutesy avatar chest.
Oh,
it's that simple.
First 3 wins of the day, and you get a cutesy chest.
That's right, and we got some new cutesy
Isn't
avatars
there a new
in there.
cutesy avatar in there?
Yeah, we got the cutesy Pele, and we got a cutesy Giannis.
Oh,
some nice stuff in that chest.
Lovely. And on top of that, I believe you've got one more thing to tell me about. Something to do with getting towards the World Championships.
Yeah, that's right. This is super exciting this year. So HRX at DreamHack ATL is in a couple of months, and we're hosting our 5th annual cosplay contest. But if you guys have an awesome cosplay and maybe weren't planning on making your way to HRX, you might want to think again. This year, you can cosplay your way to HRX.
How?
So all you have to do
Can I do that?
Yeah, you can.
Cool.
I thought you were going to be there anyway, but I mean,
I wasn't
if you
thinking
wanna,
about it, but now if it's going to be a free trip, then I'm tempted. You know?
What's your cosplay?
Kumba. I'd be a rhino.
He's going to be General Nosferous Kumba.
Bacchus or Kumba I fit too pretty well. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, all you have to do
Cosplaying
is
my
just
way to
make a
world,
cosplay,
folks.
upload a video of your cosplay
That's what
onto
we have to
Twitter
do.
using the hashtag cosplay to HRX.
It's the only
and
way.
just give us a short sentence on why you think you want to come to HRX.
Any length in the video you want there of like them in their little outfit?
It's the only way we're
Just
going to
about a
make
minute,
it.
just enough to show off how awesome the cosplay is.
Okay, so make a cosplay, video it, send it to us, and a chance you can get to HRX.
Exactly
All expenses
right.
paid?
All expenses paid. Yeah, I know. It's insane. So, yeah, make your cosplay, tweet it out, use the hashtag cosplay to HRX. Make sure you have your tweet with your video out by October 5th. We'll be announcing winners on October 10th.
That's awesome. Well, that's all you've got for me. But what have you got, young lady? What's going on?
Speaking of HRX, HRX tickets are still on sale, and we are getting so close.
That was a good segue.
So head
pretty good.
to hi-rezexpo.com.
Is that where you need to go? What date is the event?
November 16th through the 18th.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What's going to be there?
Ooh, there's going to be all kinds of things there.
Like
Smite
what?
World Championships.
Oh, yeah?
Smite Console Wars.
Ooh.
Ooh. So much good cosplay.
Ooh.
You get to meet me.
That's right.
It's not as much as it's cracked up to be, guys. I'm just going to let you know on that one. But not only that as well, I mean, you've also got, we've been talking about a little bit about mixing.
You know there ain't not going to be no Realm Royale there.
Oh, ho, ho. We have finally dropped the TM off of Soon, and account linking is here. It is live. You can link your accounts right now.
Now, the drops, though, aren't happening just yet, are they?
Auto drops are not turned on. We wanted to give you guys a little bit of time to link everything together, make sure it's all working, and in about 2 weeks or so, we should have auto drops turned on, so you don't have to keep redeeming those codes that are getting dropped in chat.
There you all go. Your account linking's coming through nicely.
Oh boy.
And with that, I've
Chat
pretty much time for all of us to
codes or
go
something.
because the patch notes are over and SPL is literally about to begin moments after
Literally.
this. Talking about the account linking.
All right. I mean, small patch just because we're in world season, which means they don't want to like affect the pro play too much. So basically, I'm trying to think of anything important. New katana is important, potentially for a couple of gods like Mercury. We'll see if they make them work. Heartseeker might be important for a couple limited gods like Uller and Chiron and stuff. And Neath, I might want to make use of it. The FREYA nerf might put her a little bit below like the ban threshold, but probably not. She'll still be banned. And then I'm missing one thing.